interacts with these key levels. These levels will be responsible for either retracements, consolidations, expansions, or straight up reversals. Okay, so those are what key levels are from. Price cannot just change phase mid-level, okay, or mid-air. It will need key levels to move along this. Now there will be some advanced concepts in this video, because if you look to the right of your screen, you'll see a list of the various key levels we have, and for the first three, at least as an advanced level, someone who is not a beginner, you know what the first three are: order blocks, fair value gaps, and swing points. Okay, so with your level of experience, you know what order blocks are. You can spot order blocks across many time frames. Okay, so bear in mind that this topic, key level, will be used in relationship with the time frame alignment topic or concepts, so as to increase your chances of success and finding high probability trades. So without wasting much time, let's get into it. So we have other blocks, fair value gaps, and swing points as the most basic. This video will not be touching those three, as it will be assumed that these three key levels are very much understood at your level. So now I want to direct your attention to the next three on the list. We have the A level, we have the V level, and we have the OCL level. Now, what are A levels? Mind you, this is an integration of the concepts of Malaysian support and resistance, and honestly, it's a brilliant take on market mechanics, and it's magical when you begin to understand how the working principles. So moving on, A levels are simply points in price where you see this, just like the letter A. That is an A level. Okay, a V level is a point in price where you see the letter V. Okay, what that means in essence is that this point here is a key level, and this point here is a key level. All right, so it means that price got to this point, and by some liquidity interactions, these levels, this price signature was created, and price action refers to these levels in forward time to navigate itself along different price deliveries. Okay, so in this video we'll learn A, V, and OCL levels. Now these levels, you generally do not see this kind of diagram on the charts. As you can see on our chart here, we have our candlesticks. Okay, now you get to the point where you'll be able to identify these levels just by looking at the candlestick chart. For instance, watch me mark out these levels. Watch me mark this out. Okay, this is me marking out random stuff, right? You really don't know what I'm marking out here, right? You really don't know. I'm just marking random stuff without having to refer to anything. Now this random stuff is not just random. Okay, let me explain it for you. These are points in price action or price signature where you see your A and V levels. Okay, mind you, I want to make this bolder so that you see what we're really talking about. Alright, so that you understand perfectly well how this works. So basically, for beginners, when it comes to learning these concepts, the more suitable tool to make use of, it's your line chart. All right. So once you navigate to your trading view, you can change the from candlesticks to a line chart. And if you observe these places that are marked out, do they look gravely similar to this diagram we have to the right? This diagrams over here. Yes, they do. All right. Look at this. This is a what? This looks similar to this, right? This is a V level. This looks similar to this, right? That is an A level. Another A level over here. Another A level over here. We have one forming here. We have a V level over here. All right. So you can you can see that I didn't have to switch to the line chart to be able to identify them, because experience and practice have taught my eyes to locate them without going into the line chart. But without wasting much time, how do we use these levels and what do we use them for? With your observatory skills, I want you to take a look at price interaction when coming into these levels. Price went up, came down, alright, on these two candles, and left this level, this zone, right? This level over here. Now, when price returned back to this high, this was a range, then we retrace, then we expanded, right? Now, the reality of price action is internal to external, all right? From inside the range to outside the range, from outside the range to inside the range. That's how price moves, all right? Now, people who were expecting expansions to continue, look at this next candle. What did it do? It was bearish, and there was a reason for that. It is all because it interacted with this A level. This is a region of supply. Sorry, sorry, I just cut myself off there. This is a region of high liquidity um, stacking that enables us to, because for price to have moved in this direction, there was a lot of money, a lot of fundings coming into the market. So these are very sensitive zones when price gets back to them, when it refers back to them. So we have this zone, price coming in here, and we can see we form a what? A candle two closure, and then we form a dip. Alright? And then we make this over here, and then we expand, okay, and then we get over here, and then price taps into it. There's a little bit of reaction, and then we expand finally. All right, but refer to this now. Refer to this. Price got into this level. That was not even the level it used. Use this over here. All right, you can see how price is reacting to this V level. Let's confirm that on our line chart. Yeah, it's a V level, right? So I didn't need to go to the line chart. So you get to that point. That's a V level. Price reacting off of it and going towards the upside. Now currently this is Euro charts currently, and look at the monthly chart, by the way. Look at this level up here. Look at price interacting with that level, and then we're seeing bearish price action. So you can see that the importance of these levels are for navigating through price, and basically the places where you make use of this type of key levels are usually on your higher time frame. All right, so let's drop down to the weekly to see if we can find any level, any key level. All right, let's do that. Sorry, let me wipe this off from the monthly chart. Let's wipe this off from the monthly chart. Let's look at our weekly. Let's keep our chart clean. So for me, where, okay, um let's reference from this point. Let's reference from this point, from here. Okay, let's make that bolder before. Alright, let's reference from this point and see if we can find any key level interaction, A or V levels. For me, my eyes are drawn up here. That's a level. Alright, my eyes are also drawn here. That's a level. You can see how price is interacting with this level. Alright. Where else is my eyes? What can my eyes see? I see this level. Alright. And I see this level currently. I see this level. Now, do I have to go to the line chart to have been able to see this? Okay, I also see this level, right? Do I have to go to the line chart to see this? No. But let's verify these levels with our line chart. So we have this. Look at that. Beautiful. This is what? A V level. This is what? An A 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 level. This is a V level. I didn't have to go to the line chart, so you can just the way you can identify your order blocks and your fair value gaps and swing points on the candlestick, you get to the point where you can identify them as swiftly as possible. You just have to study it. Then a clue for that is the closing and opening prices. All right, these are simply just closing and opening prices. So the closing price of a bearish candle forms a V level when you have a bullish candle beside it. Now the closing price of a bullish candle forms an A level when you have a bearish candle beside it. So seriously, it's nothing much, nothing fancy. It's just open and closing prices. They are very, very sensitive in the charts. As you can see, once we came from this weekly candle, we expanded to the upside and then we made this dump. This was a level. All right, this level could have been used to go higher, but when it was disrespected, price came back into it with this bullish candle and couldn't break the zone. And then what did we have? A dump. All right, see how these levels are sweet to be used. Now we did the same thing here. We came over here, we had a bullish expansion, then we formed a level over here when this bearish price closed. Alright, expansion, bullish, closing price over here, the bearish candle opened, closing price over here, forming this um, um, in an A level, sorry. And then when price opened with this bullish candle, you can see this wick having a hard time trading through this price level, right? So that was used to trade this weekly candle, and then we had a breakout, an expansion candle, and then another expansion candle. And what halted this expansion candle? This level over here. And then we did what? We closed bullish candle and a bearish candle opening to the left of it, to the right of it, sorry, forming what? An A level. Now look at how price had a hard time delivering towards buy side from this A level. Alright, now this does not remove the importance of every other level we have, like the fair value gaps. Alright, look at this fair value gap over here and how price is using it to look at how this week is respecting it. Alright, so basically those are what key levels are all about. So we've dealt with A levels and we've dealt with V levels. Hopefully you know what these levels are. In the next video I'll teach you about how to align different key levels across time frames to gauge your directional bias, on how to get directional bias. These levels, we use them to gauge directional bias, and then in the third and fourth video I'll do a complete top to down analysis, and then in the fourth video I'll show you the trades I've taken so far and how to use these key levels to create a perfect model that will be yours basically, and that will help you navigate your way through price without getting lost ever, so that you won't be surprised when you have a bullish profile week and all of a sudden you're seeing a bearish candle such as this point here. All right, and then we've taken internal range liquidity and what's supposed to go towards buy side over here, but we're not delivering to buy side and it's shocking you. Well, you see, that's because of this level over here and how sensitive it is. Alright, on how it's delivering retracements. Okay, so those are A and V levels. Finally, I want to discuss the last key level that we'll be going over in this video. So direct your eyes to this point. Say we have, let's say there's a bearish candle. over here, bearish candle. Let's make this bearish. Right. So we have that over there, and we have this. Sorry. Alright, that's what I wanted. Okay, right over here. That's really got me right now. That's got me. So let's just make that and make that. Yeah. Now, take for instance, this is a bearish candle, and we have, you know, another bearish candle forming to the side of it. Okay. Draw our wicks. Alright. Once you see this price signature, this is what we refer to as an OCL. Alright? The distance between the closing price of the previous bearish candle and the opening price of the next bearish candle is what we refer to as an OCL. It's called an open close gap. Alright? So the closing price of this and the opening price of this, a gap. Alright? And price uses it as reference points, just like A and V levels, to navigate price delivery. So you can have something like this. I'll show you examples in the chart. Now imagine this was let's just make this sorry, clone. Alright, over here, and let's make that, you know, a bullish candle, and we have, you know, another bullish candle to the, you know, followed by expansion. We grab expansion with the wicks, obviously. Now this level right here is your OCL level. Alright, and you could have price referring back to these levels to use them as support to go higher. Alright, now these are what we refer to as our open close gaps. To show you examples on the screen, on the charts, let's go into some examples. Let's not clean that. Let's do it from over here. Alright, now what do we have? What do we have? Well, let's drop down to the daily. Usually you see more open close gaps in the daily, basically because there are more candles. Okay, so what do we have here? This, oh come on, see the way price interacted over here. What was price reacting from, or reacting to it? Right over here, price was reacting to this OCL level. Let's make this black so that you won't get confused. And let's give that more posterity. Alright, look at price reacting from this level. Alright, that's an OCL. Look at this, an expansion candle followed by an expansion candle, the distance between the two closing prices. Alright, so we have another one right here. This is an OCL. Alright, what's price reacting to here? A beautiful expansion from an OCL level, right? You see, most of the times this was responsible for price not coming back to fill some gaps. All right, let's look for a bearish example. We have one over here. All right, we have this bearish candle and then we have this bearish candle, and look at how price reacted over here, right? Let's not make this video any longer than it should be. Okay, so yes, that is an OCL level. Look at this over here. We have this between this bearish candle and this bearish candle. When bullish price closed over it, well, this next bullish candle used it as well as support to go higher. We also have another OCL here between these two candles. All right, this bearish candle and this bearish candle, this gap over here, and price returned back to it after closing through it. Price used it as well support to go higher. All right, that is how we make use of open and close gaps. All right, see one over here, over here. When price came into it with this candle right here, interacted with this level, and it was responsible for what? Expansions to the upside. Alright, look at another one over here between these two bullish candles. See price interacting with it here and closing bullish. Then when price broke through it, what did it do? It came over here and used it as what? Resistance to go lower. Alright, so that is how you make use of your open and close gaps and your different advanced key levels to navigate your way through price. Alright, with that, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you understood and grabbed something from it.